My name's Hannah Cooper, and if you told me a year ago that I'd be sitting in a warm living room, I own sipping good wine, looking out at a city skyline that's basically mine, I would have laughed in your face. Back then, I was the woman left behind, the woman whose husband walked out the front door, crossed the lawn, and into the arms of the billionaire widow next door. And I thought that was the end of my story. Turns out it was just the beginning. For 13 years, Caleb and I built a life together in a little 3-bedroom on the edge of Austin. He worked odd jobs fixing fences, patching roofs, while I pulled doubles as a trauma nurse. Some weeks were easy, most were not, but we made it work. Or so I thought. I believed in us more than I believed in anything. Then Vanessa Price moved in. You couldn't miss her sleek black Jaguar in the driveway, diamond tennis bracelet catching the sun, tall and poised like she stepped out of a magazine. The neighborhood buzzed with stories about her late husband, how she inherited his fortune and half the commercial property downtown. I met her once standing at the fence offering a plate of muffins. She smiled without taking one, eyes scanning past me like she was already bored. Caleb noticed her right away. At first it was innocent passing conversation when she walked her Great Dane quick waves from the yard. Then he started dressing better to run errands, fixing things that didn't need fixing near the property line, laughing in a way I hadn't heard in years when she came over for drinks. I told myself I was imagining it. I wasn't. One Tuesday night I was chopping onions for chili when he walked in, eyes set in this strange mix of guilt and determination. Hannah, I can't do this anymore. I need more out of life. I put the knife down slow. What are you saying? His voice didn't waver. I'm moving in with Vanessa. It was like someone kicked the floor out from under me. You're leaving me for her. He nodded. Like that explained everything. She gets me. She's got the kind of life I've always wanted. You're comfortable with small things. That one stung the most. Comfortable with small things. By Friday, his side of the closet was empty, and I stood at my window that night watching him slip into her house, the glow of her chandeliers spilling onto the driveway. Their laughter drifted back like a slap. In a neighborhood like ours, gossip is faster than Wi-Fi. By the weekend, people weren't just whispering, they were looking. Some tried to hand me sympathy in the form of casseroles. Others avoided eye contact like betrayal was contagious. And the worst part, I could see their backyard from my kitchen sink, Caleb in crisp shirts pouring Vanessa wine by her pool. Money got tight fast. I'd never depended on him financially, but now it was just my paycheck keeping the lights on. Lisa, my best friend, told me to bleed him dry in court, but I wasn't going to beg. I kept my head down. Until one afternoon at the grocery store when I ran into his cousin Nate. He leaned in, voice low. You didn't hear it from me, but Caleb's burning through Vanessa's money like it's Monopoly Cash Boats Trips, that ridiculous truck. She's paying for all of it. I smiled politely, but inside, something shifted. Not joy exactly, more like a pilot light sparking back to life. 2 months later, I stopped in a cafe after a late shift and heard my name. Daniel Miller, high school friend, now a self-made guy running a chain of auto shops. We caught up over coffee, and when my situation came up, he said something that stuck. You've always been a fighter, Hannah. You just need a reason to fight again. 2 weeks later, he gave me one. He was expanding into property renovations, needed someone trustworthy to manage projects. It wasn't glamorous money, but it came with an ownership stake. I didn't know the first thing about property management, but he believed I could learn. And I did. I learned how to walk into a crumbling building and see dollar signs, how to negotiate with contractors, track market trends, turn decay into profit. And along the way, I started hearing things, Vanessa's name coming up in whispers about late rents, vacant units, and one especially troublesome fourplex on the other side of town. Through Daniel's network, I found out she was desperate to unload it quietly before it bled her dry. I bought it through an LLC, my name nowhere on the paperwork. It wasn't just about the building, it was about planting my first flag. 6 months in, I'd quietly scooped up 2 more of her underperforming properties. Each one I turned around filling with good tenants, cash flowing steady. Meanwhile, Caleb was still arm candy, still spending. I'd pass them sometimes, his smile tighter, her jewelry a little less flashy. Then I heard about the marina. Caleb had convinced Vanessa to co-sign on this flashy boutique marina project that was already over budget and behind schedule. Problem was, they needed extra parcels of land for parking and access. Parcels I could get my hands on. So I did. And once I had them, I jacked the price beyond anything they could afford. Without those parcels, the project was dead in the water. Oh, and that shiny pickup Caleb loved, I traced the loan, bought the debt through another shell company, and one brisk morning watched a tow truck haul it from her driveway while he came running out in his slippers yelling at the driver. It was poetic. By fall, Vanessa's liquidity was toast. The properties I'd taken were thriving in my hands, while the ones she clung to sat empty or crumbling. Word spread about contractors refusing her calls, tenants filing complaints. The cracks were now craters. One night Lisa texted me. "You'll love this." She threw a wine glass at the wall during a dinner party. Caleb just sat there like a stunned intern. Not long after foreclosure signs started sprouting on her portfolio, I bought 2 more buildings for pennies. Then came the inevitable. Vanessa cut him loose. Fired him from whatever fake job he'd been playing at, canceled. The cards tossed him out. He ended up in a roadside motel 2 miles from our old house. And then one freezing January night, I came home to find him standing on my porch, hands shoved deep in a worn-out coat. "Hannah, can we talk?" I didn't let him in. "About what?" His voice cracked. "I made a mistake. She wasn't who I thought she was. I thought I could have a better life, but you lost it all." I finished for him. He nodded, eyes darting away. "Maybe we could try again." I told him to come back tomorrow if he was serious. The next evening, he stepped into my living room, new furniture, soft lighting, not a speck of clutter. I was in a tailored navy suit. On the coffee table sat a neat stack of property files. "You look different," he said. I smiled. "I am." He started in with the apologies, the regrets, I miss what we had. I let him run out of steam before sliding the first file toward him. "Recognize this." His brow furrowed. "That's one of Vanessa's." "Wait, you own this." I slid another file. And another. "I own them all. The ones you lived in, the ones you thought made you untouchable. While you were drinking her wine by the pool, I was buying your future out from under you." His face went pale. "So you're the reason I'm the reason I cut in. You're sitting here in a coat that smells like a wet dog asking for another chance." For a moment, he just sat there, shoulders caving in. Then he stood. "Goodbye, Hannah. Goodbye, Caleb." I watched him walk down the steps, the wind catching his collar. And for the first time since he left, there was no ache. Just freedom. Some say revenge doesn't heal. Maybe not. But it sure as hell can rebuild. And now I want to hear from you. Was I wrong to take it this far, or did he get exactly what he deserved? Have you ever seen someone underestimate the wrong person? Tell me in the comments. I'll be reading every word.